How do you revise for the mock exams that are coming up in autumn? Let's find out. Roll that graphic. Hi, I'm Paul. This is Science That Sticks. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to revise for mock exams, specifically how to revise effectively. Now, effective revision simply means that you are doing something to get better so that you can pass an exam. Now, in the UK, we are exam focused in schools, and there's good and bad in that. But one of the main things about this is, how do students, year 11 students, year 10 students, and A-level students, if you've got loads of subjects, how do you actually revise for all of them so that you could be examined within the space of about a week and a half? Well, the answer to that is there are 5 steps. The first of which is you've got to be prepared and you've got to be organised. This is the first of my 5 baby steps. It's the hardest of the baby steps because it actually means you have to be prepared to organise yourself, to be self-disciplined. Now, that in and of itself is very tricky. I'm not here to sell motivational videos or anything like that. However, getting prepared and organised involves the following. 1, a revision timetable. Make sure that you have allocated yourself time for particular subjects. Next, you're going to need resources, pens, pencils, rulers, rubbers. You're going to need everything that you would need for school or college or whatever. You're also going to need to make sure that you operate both of these 2 things together so that you can actually be successful. So what does the organisation entail? Well, first of all, a revision timetable should have several slots after school, after college, whatever, throughout the evening, not every day, all day. And the reason for this is because you get to burnout and you won't be any use to yourself nor to doing any exam, and you'll just fall down. So the best students that are the most successful have hobbies that are productive. They go to sports events or sports clubs. They do music stuff. They might do dance. Something else that's not sitting down at a desk. They continue to do those. My best advice is you do 25 minutes of study, 5 minutes off, 25 minutes of study. I also recommend that you put all of your examinable subjects in order alphabetically. So you start with art, then biology, then chemistry, then drama, then English, then French, then geography, history, and so on. Now, obviously, not everyone watching this will be doing those exams. So you pick what you are doing and you put them in alphabetical order. Why is that? Well, that's because you don't want any one thing taking priority. So that's the first one out the way. Now, I've hinted to changing often. Now, my dad used to say to me, Paul, well, if things are getting you a bit down and you're struggling with something, give it a rest and then come back to it a bit later. He always used to say, he still says it, he's still around as my dad. He said to me, a change is as good as a rest. And I think that's a fantastic piece of advice. And he's right. A change is as good as a rest. So when you feel like you're not getting any more in, change what you're doing. Stop for 5 minutes, have a rest. Now, I advise doing a different subject altogether. So my advice to students is you do 25 minutes of, let's say, art, you have 5 minutes rest. Then you do 25 minutes of biology, 5 minutes rest. Now, I understand that some people are like, well, I like revising for hours and I like doing this because I'm going to cram the following day. I'll discuss cramming in another session, not this one. But if you're doing this at this point in the year, we're just in mid to late September now, September 21st as I'm recording this, 2025. If you're just going to have a little bit of organisation about you, 25 minutes of art, 5 minutes off, 25 minutes of biology. Now, by the time it gets to Tuesday, you've done almost all of your subjects at least once. By the time it gets to Thursday, you've done all of your subjects twice. By the time it gets to Friday, you've done them at least, you've done about an hour and a half's worth of revision. That's pretty good going. Now, the next thing is memory development. I've got a few selections of things that you can use on my channel with how to memorize the reactivity series. I'm a big believer that you can actually develop your memory. And I'll put some links below for some of the most powerful things that I've seen, including Nelson Dellis and a few other people as well. Number 4 happens to be where the business bit comes for most people with revision, creating your own resources. First of all, I've got a freesciencelessons.co.uk. If you all watch it, if you're doing AQA science, go onto that YouTube channel. It's free and it always will be. That's what he says. But the videos are really good. They've got graphics, they've got all sorts of stuff. Give it a pause, write down some information on that little flashcard that you've got. Once you've got your flashcard, then you can start doing things with it. So you can have your flashcard, you can put it around a little circle in the middle of a piece of paper, and then you can use your questions on the other side of your flashcard, that is, to then complete a mind map. So once you've got a mind map, then use that to create a brain dump. A brain dump is an extended piece of written work that tries to identify as much as you possibly can from memory. You'll be surprised at how effective those things are in order of one another. So flashcards into mind maps into brain dumps, and you could go backwards as well. If you start in with the brain dump, you list out all the keywords from that module or that topic. You write about it, then you transform it into a mind map by summarizing it, drawing diagrams and what have you. Then you put it onto flashcards, and on the reverse of which you've got your questions. Number 5, practice, practice, practice. And the reason why you should practice is because the first couple of these baby steps is you developing your subject knowledge. If you are developing your subject knowledge, that means you are understanding more of the content. Now, you could get a 5 or a 6 grade just by memory recall alone. So that's where number 3 comes in really handy. However, if you're looking for a top grade, you need to be able to apply what you are using. This is specifically true for GCSEs and A-level students in the UK. But if you're in the US or anywhere else where you understand my language, application is key. So practice, practice, practice. There's lots of places you can get examination papers. You can ask your school for some. They'll gladly give you some. You can go on to Physics and Maths Tutor, link down below. You can go to the AQA's website, Edexcel's, OCR's. They've got ones that students can print off as well. Once you've done all that, and this is for the A-level students and the top tier 8, 9 graders, you've probably actually done all the ones that you can get your hands on. And you probably think there's not much you can give me there, Paul. You've got some attitude. Now, the best way that I would advise students who have done all exams that they can do, and this is more true towards the end of the year in the second set of mocks, is this. Write your own questions out. And I really mean that. So get a sheet of paper, write some questions out based on what you know. Use a revision book for the content. On the second sheet of paper, write out your own answer. Use the command words to make sure that you actually have everything that you need. Once you've done that, leave it 24 hours. Come back to it 24 hours or even 48 hours later. You will be thinking to yourself, oh, these questions are easy. You wait till you have a go at that 48 hours later. You'll discover that not only did you give yourself a challenge, it will really shine a light in a dark area that you don't know as much as you think you do. But if you're all good with that, then that's good with me. So, to recap, my 5 best tips. Prepare and organise. Change is as good as a rest. Change often. Develop your memory. Create your own revision resources. Nothing's going to be more important than you developing your own. Don't buy them unless you're using a revision guide or whatever. Don't buy revision cards. Make your own. Practice, practice, practice. It's a really, really good thing. That's it. This is a very lengthy video. Unfortunately, I've got no way of shortening it, although I'm sure you can speed it up and I'll sound like I've been gasping on a helium balloon. Till next time, everybody, take good care of yourselves. Stay cool. Bye for now.